You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And I am Evan Closky.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as all the other podcasting platforms. You can also find us on the social medias and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Let's not waste any time here, guys. We have a special episode, a recurring annual tradition, our Locked On Rays, Tampa Bay Rays playoffs roster draft. The brainchild of one Ulises Sambrano, who also is the mastermind behind the Excel spreadsheet that we will be getting to shortly.
I do love Excel's sheets, so thank you for that. Okay, if you've been a fan of Locked On Rays for a while now, you know that we do this every year, and we're going to share our screen. But before that, we know that Evan is our guest, so he will go first on this draft. But Kevin, you and I have some business to settle, and that's rock, paper, scissors to get second or third.
Yes, and before we get to that business, I have another item of business, and it is this. If and when the Rays win the 2023 World Series, I promise to wear. So if you've been watching the show on YouTube, you notice I like my sweatshirts. I like my hoodies. I like my Jordan brand hoodie / sweatshirt while I'm wearing my bird dogs as well. But if the Rays win the World Series, there is a special sweatshirt that has been handed down from my aunt that is, I can't wear it out in public, but it is very comfortable. I'll just say that. So it is an Oprah Winfrey.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's great. Oh yeah.
If the Rays win the World Series, I will wear this.
That's circa 1993 right there.
Yeah, that's 93.
Yeah,
right
vintage.
Yeah. Love it.
Vintage.
Oh.
If you don't wear it, I will.
Yeah. No, this has to be worn.
I could probably sell it for like $50. Some weirdo would buy it. Oh man, but that's the deal. You know, the Rays have pressure on them because I think people want to see me donning. I can't get the camera right. Donning this relic here.
I love it.
So, all right. Shall we get into it?
Yes.
Yeah. What a great preamble.
Roster draft
to get second or third. So you ready?
Yes.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Boom. Oh, you got me.
Okay, so I will go second.
Okay. And honestly, if I had beat you in rock, paper, scissors, I would have given you the second pick anyway because you did all the work with the Excel spreadsheet. So.
All right, so let's get started, boys. Let's share that screen. Okay, and if you're following on YouTube, you know what? You can always just hit that like button right now. It's free. Do it. Look, Siri is telling you to hit that like button right now.
So you have to do it.
You have to do it. Hit that like button.
You're not a fan if you don't do it.
That's right. Thank you. There you go. All right.
The Rays will lose if you don't do it. There we go. Now we put the pressure on.
There you go. I like that.
I don't want to see that Oprah sweatshirt.
Exactly.
All right. First pick.
Well, hang on, Ulises. For the people that are just listening on the podcast platform, do you want to run through who we've already established on the pitcher and position player side of things? So people
obviously we need to have some established players that we all know that are going to be there. On the pitching side, there are 7 names. That's Zach Eflin, Tyler Glasnow, Aaron Savali, Zach Littell, Pete Fairbanks, Colin Poche, and Robert Stevenson. So those are 7 of the locks for the pitching side. So that means that we need to pick 6 more pitchers on the position.
Would argue 5.
Yeah, I think we could kind of have a debate on that because it is a best of 3 series.
Okay.
So
Rays
you could theoretically go with 14 or 15 position players and 11 or 12 pitchers.
I think we should go off the template that the Rays did last year since they just, they did a 12 and 14. That seems to be pretty common amongst playoff teams for the 3-game set is 12 pitchers, 14 positional players.
All right, let's do organic then. Let me change it up to Nick. Need 5 here.
All right, so that's the pitching side of things. Now the position players side.
Position players side, the locks are Rene Pinto, Christian Bethencourt, Yandy Diaz, Randy Rosarena, Josh Lowe, Manuel Margot, Isaac Paredes, and Harold Ramirez. So that is a total of 8 players, which means we used to need 5, but now we need 6 more players. So with all that being said, I hope you've all followed along. If not, I think YouTube would be easier to follow along. If you're a visual person like I am, Evan Closky, you get first pick.
So I will tell you this right off the jump, by the way. I see Tristan Gray is on the list. I was in the clubhouse today. Did not see a Tristan Gray locker. So I just want that to be known.
Okay.
Doesn't mean there can't be a surprise, but to give you a reason why I'm saying this, I did see Francisco Mejia there, who's not even on the 40-man right now.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents. But for my first pick.
And we should also note that Wander Franco is he doesn't have a locker right now.
Francisco Mejia.
He's not on this Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, Francisco Mejia is actually in Wander Franco's locker right now. They have, and let it be known, Wander Franco didn't lose his locker per a team official due to any new information in the investigation. They simply have they need to put people everywhere because they have spaces. Not only are they going to need for the 26, but then you kind of need your quote unquote like taxi squad. So they're going to be players who are a part of this team who are not actually active, but they will still have a spot on the team because, of course, they could be involved in the CS, the DS to CS, the World Series. Brett Phillips is a great example of that during the 2020 run. So first pick, he hasn't been great recently, but he certainly has there is a 0% chance he's left off the roster. So I'm going Shawn Armstrong.
Shawn Armstrong, very good pick.
He, again, for a long stretch, he looked like a bona fide closer and recently has been getting peppered. It's gotten better the last couple of outings, I believe. Even that Boston outing, which was a hit by pitch and then a double. There was a screwed up double play there by Aranda, even though I don't know if it was turned. Regardless, but he's coming back a little bit to earth considering his statistics were insane.
Yeah.
But Army has been a rock in that bullpen, and he will be absolutely needed. I would say maybe in a 7th inning type role now that you can't roll out the Big Spot Bob, Jason Adam combo in the 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
And I do imagine Poche is going to have some high leverage innings considering a couple of formidable lefties in that Rangers lineup.
Good pick. Armstrong's been a rock, like you said, pretty much all season long. Career low walk rate, basically career high 4-seam velocity this year. He's the magic thing's been health for him. And let's not forget this about Shawn Armstrong. He can also, I think, be comfortable in just about any role that the Rays will deploy him in.
You're right.
And he's been around for a long time. I read somewhere recently that, he's been in the major since 2015. He actually pitched against, that year, he pitched against Torrey Hunter and Joe Mauer. So that just tells you how long that this guy has been percolating in the big leagues. So solid choice there.
Indeed, solid choice. Nothing more to add from me. Armstrong is definitely a lock. For my pick, I'm just going to make it super easy. I've seen enough of this guy, Junior Caminero.
Out of there immediately.
I got to go here. I said it on the show on Monday, Kevin. I believe it's borderline baseball negligence to not start Junior Caminero over Taylor Walls. It's really that close for me. I've seen enough of this kid. He's really good. He's going to be amazing. But right now, I feel like he's your go-to. He's that secret sauce that maybe the 2021 Rays, or sorry, the 2020 Rays did not have, and they didn't pull the trigger there in 2020. Maybe this is the time that they learn from past maybe a mistake, and they say, you know what, we do need to have a secret weapon, a guy that might be too young to understand how big of a situation it is, and he just goes out to play baseball. So I'm going with Junior Caminero for my pick.
You stole mine. I've been rapping hard for Junior Caminero, and you stole him right from me. I don't appreciate that at all. Here's the thing. I don't know. Are we supposed to be drafting in terms of like most valuable players to be picked, or just
you have to be picking somebody who you think is going to make an impact in the series if he's on the roster?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But you know what? Like, for example, if I were just picking somebody that's going to give me value and I want to get some value in my life, guess what, boys? I'm getting some dang bird dogs. I'm getting bird dogs.
Tweet.
Gotta get them bird dogs because you know that they have that stretchy khaki short that are designed to fit you so damn well. And you know what? You're going to feel good. Your thighs are going to look all sculpted. People are going to stop by and tell you, wait. Where did you get those? And you can go, hey, you know what? I got those at birddogs.com. And you can use promo code LOCKEDONMLB at checkout for a free Bird Dogs water bottle with your order. Isn't that amazing? And you're going to look amazing. You can use them when you go out to golf like Kevin. You can use them while you're doing yoga like I do. You can go to business meetings like Evan Closky does when he has some of those. He wears Bird Dogs. So today, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB and you will get a free Bird Dogs water bottle with your order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB for a free water bottle at checkout. You will not want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you.
All right. My pick here, number 3, I will go with a guy that I think needs to be on the playoff roster. Especially looking at the pitchers who are already in the fold right now. I think you need at least one more lefty, so I'll call it Jake Diekman. He is my choice, aside from Colin Poche, who's already been designated for the roster. You got some strong lefties in that Rangers lineup. Nate Lowe, Corey Seager, Evan Carter. You just need another option in there just in case, and Jake Diekman has certainly established himself since being released and acquired by the Rays. And just a case of, hey, Jake, do a couple of these things. Throw your four-seamer and throw your breaking ball, get rid of your sinkers and cutters, and voila, you're good to go. Maybe a little release point change, and you're back to vintage Jake Diekman. So that is my choice.
Great choice. I think he's a lock, basically, right, Evan?
Yeah, you need another lefty. I mean, look, this lineup's got Seager, Lowe, Evan Carter, and not to mention, at least with Lowe and Seager, who are probably going to be positioned fairly close to each other in the lineup, it might come to a spot where, you know, you don't want to think about it, but what happens if Glasnow, Eflin, Savali, like even you got to think back to game 3, Savali's not going to be given a long leash. So you're going to need another guy to get lefties out in that 5th and 6th inning. So maybe Diekman isn't seen game 1 and game 2, and he's going to be needed game 3. So it's, you know, you got to think long picture. You got to think through all scenarios.
Yeah. And there's also a couple switch hitters in there too. So, all right. Evan, I think it's your turn.
No, we're doing snakes, so it's actually your turn.
Oh, sorry. I'm totally – wow. It wasn't that long ago where I had a fantasy football draft, so I should know this by now.
Yeah.
I'm cheating myself, and you have the order right there. I should be watching YouTube.
I do.
The feed right now. So Jake Diekman, that is my first choice. My next choice will be, you know what? I'm going to go with another reliever. I'm going to go with Chris Davinsky. He's been perfect. Basically,
the circle of death.
Yeah, the circle of death
Wow.
changeup. He's been virtually perfect his last 7 outings, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I think you need to have some pitching variation, guys who have different release points, guys that throw from different sides of the mound, guys who aren't just fastball sweeper guys, but maybe they throw their changeup predominantly, and that is Chris Davinsky to a T. So that is who I'm going with to add a little change of pace, literally and figuratively, to the rotation. And he's earned it with what he's done as of late in a Rays uniform. And another one of those guys that, hey, get released by another organization, i.e. the Angels, come to the Rays and have success and do well in your spot and your role and take some solid advice from Kyle Snyder and the analytics folks.
I mean, did not make my draft picks at all. But I understand where you're coming from, but I will tell you that as a fan, anytime that Davinsky is on the mound, I have 17 stress balls in my fists, and I'm looking for Pepto-Bismol. So that's how I feel as a fan.
What about when Faucher's on the mound?
My goodness, that the Pepto-Bismol has been drunk already with Faucher. But no, I mean, I get what you're saying. But for me, and this is how maybe some people maybe on this podcast feel about my next pick. I see you guys talked about lefties, and I see only Faucher there. I see only Jake Diekman there. I think we need a lefty. And yep, I'm going for it. Josh Fleming is in my roster, and I will tell you why. Yes, we all know the negatives, so no need to tell you the negatives about Josh Fleming, but I will tell you the positives about Josh Fleming is that in his last 5 outings in AAA, which have all been 1 inning long, they've all been scoreless, and he actually has faced the minimum amount of hitters in those 5 outings 3 of those 5 times. So this is a guy that maybe they have shifted what they're expecting from him from a multi-inning guy just to like, hey, can you just give us 3 outs? Can you do that for us? And the last 5 outings, 1 inning long, all have been scoreless. You need more lefty options. Faucher is great, has had a great season. Jake Diekman has been a great revelation for the Rays since the trade. I think you need 1 more lefty option. I'll go with Josh Fleming.
That's that. No, I don't support that one. We'll discuss everything afterwards. But by the way, you got to fill out the order. Like the names stop there. We need to keep going beyond that. So my pick, since it looks like we only got 1 pitcher left, let's get some hitters off the board. And with the amount of lefties the Rangers have in their rotation, most notably the Game 1 starter in Jordan Montgomery, I'm taking Curtis Mead.
Let's go.
Good pick.
Yes.
So I need that righty bat, and Mead has looked significantly more comfortable at the plate since returning to the Rays after getting demoted the first time. I thought the first time he came up with the Rays, he looked like the moment was too big for him. He just didn't look comfortable guessing. He never really got in rhythm. And ever since then, I've liked his approach. And he's starting for me Game 1 against Montgomery, in my opinion. So
100% he's starting against Montgomery. Against lefties, he has to be in that lineup. And you've seen him, Kevin Cash, with lefties. He has been using Curtis Mead all the time, and he uses him at third base. So if you wanted to get, really in depth, you can see Curtis Mead against Jordan Montgomery starting in third base.
Oh, I like that pick. Yeah.
And this is going to be my last pick, I guess. So
this is kind of unfortunate here that I got to do it, but I will. God, what am I going to do here? This is like
you want me to go to this? You want me to save yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Before you make your pick, Evan, I'm going to let you think about it for a second.
Thank you.
Because first we have to tell you about this. You all need to snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel. It is America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So, if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time than now to get in on the action. The app is incredibly easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and beyond. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon, LOCKEDON, to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, they are an official partner of the NFL. All right, Evan, who is your final pick?
I'm gonna do it because I don't know what you guys are gonna do. I'm taking and everyone knows my opinion.
Tristan Gray.
I've said it multiple times. By the way, I did not see Josh Fleming out there yesterday, but I'm not. I mean, the pitchers I'm a little less confident in than the hitters because there's so many pitchers and people are getting treatment and you never know what I miss. So I'm not. I definitely didn't see Gray, but I'm going Taylor Walls.
Oh, Ulises, go off. Ulises strongly dislikes everything that Taylor Walls is about and encapsulates.
I will say this. That was just funniness, and I do appreciate the humor, Kevin. You know that we're here to entertain Rays fans. But Evan, just know, I believe that Taylor Walls is at his best. He will give you his best type of production when you slide that bad boy in the 8th inning as a defensive replacement. You're going to get the best Taylor Walls. Now, you put him as a starter, I'm going to be upset, and my voice is going to get really high and squeaky.
This isn't about lineups. This isn't about lineups. This is about being on the roster.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I don't have another pick, but this is what I'm going to say about Jose Siri, who we don't know is healthy or not. And it's up to you whether you want to keep him. But I believe both of them are explained the same way. I like both of them. Well, honestly, Siri with a broken finger, recovering from a broken finger, can't be that much different than Taylor Walls hitting. And it's just the truth. I'm sorry. We have a long sample size now. But Taylor Walls plays tremendous defense. Right now, there's a lot going on in the infield. You don't have Lau, you don't have Wander. You need the middle of the infield shored up. And if you are going to play a guy like Caminero at short in the biggest stage, Caminero is not a rock solid shortstop here. All right. I mean, you might cost yourself defensively in what you're trying to do offensively. Yeah. And at least with Walls in the playoffs, Walls is a good player to have. And you can make him a defensive replacement. You can make him a pinch runner. You can do a lot with him in the middle of the game when Cash is constructing this lineup. What happens if Bethancourt/Pinto gets on base late in the game? You can now put Walls in, then you put Walls over to short, you take somebody else out, you bring in the other catcher. He opens up the playbook for you. And I think the same thing with Jose Siri. Though Jose Siri, if he's not 100% healthy, he is purely on a pinch running defensive replacement plan. And if for some reason it goes in extras and he has to hit, maybe he's just bunting. I don't know. But like that's sort of where I'm at in that.
I'm with you. And here's the thing also to consider. The guy or guys who are on the mound. I think that Taylor Walls, knowing that he's behind them defensively, adds a little bit of comfort factor to what they're trying to do versus whoever else would be at second base or shortstop. I think a strong defensive force, and you mentioned all the other things, Evan. He's got the experience, he's got the base running, he's got the versatility, and the bat is weak and soft, but he doesn't chase. He can draw a walk. I mean, he'll do those minor things. So I think having him in the fold is important. Not to play all 9 innings, but fitting in somewhere, some way, somehow over the course of the game.
Yeah, and there might be an argument to be made that you start Walls and you remove him in the lineup in a big hitting spot, and you actually go worse defensively towards the end of the game when you need the bat, and you take the quantity of innings in the front end and say, just play good defense. I don't care about your bat. And when we need that slot in that bat, and we need a bat in that slot, we're going to take you out. Yeah. And then we're going to sacrifice defense for hitting at an opportune time versus the other way around. So regardless of how we all feel about Walls, and I think there needs to be a really serious discussion about him with this organization moving forward with what they have coming up through the system. But for this year and this playoffs, I'm picking Taylor Walls for all of the series, every single one of them.
He needs to be in the roster. My only gripe would be if you're putting him starting, I think we've got an issue. But we've got many more picks to go. My next pick, I'm just an easy one. Kevin Kelly. I think he's shown enough in the regular season to
the last pitcher taken.
Yeah, you got to go.
Agree. Yeah, I agree.
Kevin?
This is tough. Let me just say this. I would have, if I had Ulises pick, I would not have Josh Fleming on the roster. I'd rather have Andrew Kittredge on the roster.
I know you both.
This man just went in on Taylor Walls, and he's got Josh Fleming on his roster. Oh, no disrespect to Josh Fleming, who has.
Did Josh Fleming like one of your tweets or something? What is going on?
I will not disclose my personal non-existent relationship with Josh Fleming.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, here's the toughie. Well, I guess I have back-to-back picks, so it gives me a little bit of thought here. Looking at the roster in the draft as it presently stands, I don't see many outfielders or many players capable of playing outfield. So I'm going to add another one of them into the fold and say, oh, it's tough.
Don't do it.
Luke Raley. I saw a clip of him in batting practice, and he looks strong and lithe and athletic and flexible.
Yeah, Ulises, you gotta take Raley.
No, you can't. No, you cannot take Raley. He is as streaky as they come. He is not a natural hitter like Harold Ramirez, like Yandy Diaz, where they can wake up, not even brush their teeth, and go 2 for 4.
Look at the home run he hit in Baltimore when when the season was on the line.
But
how many players in this depth give you the power that Raley gives you?
That's fine, and he's got great pop. But the problem is, again, he's not a natural hitter. That comes with timing, and this guy has not hit since September 15th.
Who do you want in the outfield over him?
So are you saying you would draft or you would pick Jose Siri, because he's definitely not going to do anything at the plate? So you're just adding him for, I guess, his legs and his
Have we not seen Manny Margot struggle mightily in covering center field this whole last 2 weeks? I have. So yeah, if I have to pick one of the injured guys who will have nothing to provide at the plate, because that's what baseball is, it's timing. Unless you are Yandy Diaz and you do not see baseball for 2 months, and then you come back and then you have Jimmy Jacks in back-to-back outings and at-bats like in 2019. Like, Luke Raley is not that guy. He's a 30% strikeout rate guy. Jose Siri is a 36% strikeout rate.
Is Jose Siri even available? I haven't heard a lick about him.
My point is that if you don't take, here's my thing, is that you're complaining about Luke Raley and things that are legitimate, but you don't have a replacement for him. Here are your outfielders without taking Luke Raley: Randy Arozarena, Josh Lowe, Manuel Margot.
Yeah.
You want to put Harold Ramirez out in the outfield? Because I don't during the playoffs.
And the other thing, too, is Luke Raley can play. He can at least be put in all 3 outfield positions, not to mention first base and not to mention handling the DH.
If you're taking one of these 2, and I want you guys to just like –
you got to take 2.
One of these 2, Raley or Siri. I would take Siri because of the defensive and the speed factor.
1,000%, but I think you're taking both anyway. I think you can't live on a roster that's only got one other outfielder.
I think it's a mistake to burn 2 spots for guys that haven't seen ball.
All right, let's get through. Let's finish the roster, and then I want to see who he wants to pick that he wants to remove. Raley.
Oh man,
let's make your pick snappy because I want to see on who's left who he's taking over Raley.
I've already told you like what I would pick. So unless he picks it,
all right. I'll take Andrew Kittredge.
So you're going No, Kittredge.
No. We
established 12 pitchers.
Oh, okay. So I can't take a picture.
No, because we got Josh Fleming on the roster.
Can I trade you my pick so we can put Andrew Kittredge up there instead of Josh Fleming? Dang it!
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. All
right. So you want to take the last 2 picks? Then I'm willing to make that switch.
Okay. Andrew Kittredge is now on the roster, and now I get your pick?
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So I like I said, I did this whole shtick with Raley because in my notes, I have series numbers too, and I did not like to pick either of them. That was my hot take. I think you don't go with guys that haven't seen live ball for more than 2 weeks. But if I'm going to be honest with you, after seeing Manny Margot just struggle mightily in center field, I think I will take the 4Ks, 5Ks by Jose Siri, and then actually get him to play in center field because it has been atrocious, to be quite frank. And I never thought that I would say that about Manny Margot's defense, but it has not been good. It has not been good at all.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed by it as well.
I mean, easy catches, guys. Easy catches just completely blundered.
He's amazing right fielder. He's been exposed as a center fielder.
Thank you. That's exactly the right word. So he's been exposed. So I have to have a guy that I know now it's going to be over 4Ks or maybe with a ground out if lucky. So I will put Jose Siri. I don't like Luke Raley there. I understand where you're coming from, but fine. One last guy I have to have here. Now it's basically between Jonathan Aranda or Ulises Basabe. I would love for you to not have picked Luke Raley so I can have both Aranda and Basabe because Aranda, I think a lefty that can give you just a grand slam out of nowhere he could be like the Luke Raley that you guys won, the pop. Jonathan Aranda could give you the Luke Raley one because he actually has timing, unlike Luke Raley. But because you've put Luke Raley on there, I will have to go with Ulises Basabe, who can basically just cover you wherever you need him to. He even played right field.
Yeah, I'm a little.
So I'll do that.
Well, I don't know how much you want to rely on that option. They kind of missed the Vidal Brujan infielder outfielder guy. And you can't put Brujan on the roster. I'm not suggesting that, but they missed that type of player who can go middle infield and outfield. That's exactly the type of player they need, especially in the playoffs, but especially right now as they're injured. And I think Aranda is a really tough conversation to have. If the team was playing Toronto that had all righties, Aranda's an easy guy to put on the roster. Like, I wouldn't even think twice about it. But with the Rangers having so many lefties, especially like on the active roster right now, they have Martin Perez, Jordan Montgomery, Andrew Heaney, Aroldis Chapman, Brock Burke, Cody Bradford.
With all these lefties, Evan, you're making my point. You're willing to put Luke Raley, who has no timing, and he's a lefty.
But Raley has positional flexibility, and Aranda can maybe play second and first.
And Raley can knock it out of the ballpark if he times it up.
But my guess is
Aranda just had a grand slam.
Okay, he's had one home run.
To me, what not what I feel, what I think. I think Aranda's going to find a spot on the lineup. I don't know if Basabe will. Because if you're going to play Walls, if You're going to play Walls, Caminero, Mead, Yandy, Paredes. You got all these infielders. Like, there's too many. It's too many in a 3-game set.
I think Tapia could legitimately, draft aside, he might eke out a spot.
He could. I would not. Again,
I mean, I think it depends on how Rayleigh and
Blue
Jays out in workouts. And
against the Blue Jays, there's a legit. Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it's a mistake right now in this draft to put both Luke Rayleigh and Jose Siri there. That's what I think. If you're going with one of them, I think it should be Jose Siri because of what we've seen in center field. Like, I don't think it would be a smart thing for this team who's going to face a juggernaut of an offense to be burning 2 spots for guys who haven't seen a major league at bat.
I think you're thinking way too narrowly minded. I know we can't continue to go back and forth on this, but I think you're not thinking about you talked about a juggernaut of a lineup. You have to talk about the defense and the flexibility. And by the way, Luke Rayleigh is fast. He can pinch run too. He's got an amazing sprint speed. So, like, they just give you more flexibility. They have played the entire season. Now, I will say this. It looked like Luke Rayleigh, it depends on how he wakes up, but he looked good to me today. I'm a little bit iffy on how Jose Siri looked, but if he can play defense and run, then he can come off the bench and play in key moments down the stretch. And again, if he's got a bunt, then bunt, So you have to, in my opinion, you got to go with the horses that got you here. And those 2 did. And as long as they're healthy enough, they're on the team, in my opinion. That is my opinion. Not even what I think they're going to do. I think that's my opinion as well.
All things being equal, Ulises, you have 1 spot. Would you take Taylor Walls or Luke Rayleigh in this best of 3?
I'd take Taylor Walls.
Okay.
Taylor Walls. He has a really good glove. He's got great speed. And guess what? He has been active for the last 2 weeks, which I really think that it would be a really good thing to have. Again, I understand where you're coming from, Evan. I understand where you're coming from, Kevin. I just would rather just keep it to one guy who has, not seen Major League at bat since like the 11th of September.
I'm with you on that, you kind of need some time to warm up, but I guess Manny Margot, defense aside, he kind of threw that idea into the wind because since he's come back, he's been on fire. So.
Sure, but at least he had like some time to see actual at bats, even if it was like one AAA game, and even though he had sim games, but these guys legitimately had their first baseball activity day today when Evan saw them live.
Well, good thing the Rangers don't have the best pitching staff out there, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the listeners say. Interested to see the comments on YouTube. And in the meantime, Evan, thank you for joining us. And how can people find your wonderful, wonderful work, not just in the realm of baseball, but pigskin, hockey, and so on?
We got it. I mean, if the Rays can win this series, my butt's going to be at Tropicana Field, and David Shealy, who also works here at 1010 Bay, he's going to be at the home opener for the Lightning on October 10th. That's going to be Game 3 for the Rays in the you would think against the Orioles if they can make it. So you can find me at Closky, WTSP on Twitter, at Closky on Instagram. Head to 1010bay.com, and you're going to want to watch 1010 Bay at 11 o'clock. Because that's when the game's going to be ending. If they finish before 6:30, I'll be out there live trying to get you everything you need. But I will be at Tropicana Field, so I'll be feeling Troptober. That's for sure.
That's great. Before we leave, we should just run through the names real quick with the picks that we did. Sean Armstrong, Junior Caminero, Jake Diekman, Chris Davensky, Andrew Kittredge, Curtis Mead, Taylor Walls, Kevin Kelly, Luke Rayleigh, Jose Siri, Ulises Basabe, names that were kind of left off that might be of importance. Raimel Tapia did not make the cut. Tristan Gray, I know there are some fans of him on our YouTube comments all the time. Jalen Beeks, Cooper Criswell, Jacob Lopez did not make it. And you know what? Who also didn't make it? Tosh Bradley, which I think he's probably going to be there. But hey, we left him off and we didn't talk about him at
With that Rangers offense, man, do the Rays want to give up 6 home runs in a game? Or
So Taj Bradley, I think, would be in the ALDS roster. I don't think you don't need him in a 3-gamer because you got if someone blows up, it's going to be Littell's mess to clean up. So you already have the cleanup duty. And guess what? If you have to do it twice, you just lost a series. So
yeah, exactly.
It
doesn't matter.
All right.
Good stuff, guys. That was good. Loved it.
Yes. I'm very interested to see the YouTube commenters.
Yeah.
So that'll be a treat for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.